kirtan or bhajan, and then we can have the class. So yeah, go ahead, please. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauramani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva. Thank you so much for praying the mridanga and the harmonium. Hare Krishna. Once again, I welcome all the devotees and the visitors to ISKCON of Silicon Valley for attending the Sunday Feast lecture. My special thanks and gratitude to Her Grace Kanka Mataji for gracing us on this occasion. With her kind blessings and permissions, may I be allowed to speak today. Thank you. So today, the topic was the evening was, I want to be happy. Is there anyone who is against that idea? That's the first thing that we need to ask, so that that can be resolved. And we are all on the same platform, or same agreement, that yes, the idea is that everyone wants to be happy. In fact, it's enshrined in the United States Constitution, pursuit of happiness. But before we start, we should, what we do is, for those who are not familiar, we offer certain prayers of invocation so that we may seek the blessings of our previous acharyas and Krishna to help us to seek that happiness that we are looking for. So if you can follow, it's there on the screen. But if you cannot, that is fine too. So we all do it together. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guroh Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupan Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tvam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha kalpatarubhayascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Matsamo nasti papatma, naparadhi cha kaschana, parihare pilajjame, kim bhruve purushottama. Bhumau skalitapadanam, bhumirevavalambanam, tvai jata paradhanam, tvameva sharanam prabho. Govinda vallabhe radhe, prarthaye tvamaham sada, tvadiyam iti janatu, govindo mam tvaya saha. Radha radhita radhesha, radhika prana vallabha, Radha Ramana Vande Tvam, Radhika Prema Nirjita. Hare Krishna. So, when we explore the topic that I want to be happy, we have certain parameters in there. As in, who is seeking happiness? I, which is the I in that statement. And what is that I seeking to be? Happy. So we should see who is I and what is happiness. If we don't have that clear relationship or understanding, then it can mean anything, yes or yes. In the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna mentions that we are spirit souls. We are part and parcels of Krishna. That we take on so many identities within this material world. I am a man, I'm a woman, I'm an Indian, I'm an American. There are so many identities. But when these identities are something that we actually identify with, then we think ourselves as this body and everything in relationship to this body as mine. Consequently, the enjoyment we seek out is enjoyment which is based on our senses and mind. Our sense of taste wants to taste something very nice. Our sense of seeing or sight wants to enjoy something nice, and we try to see. Dominating, and similarly we have how many senses overall? 5 senses, and each make their own demands for the sake of happiness. And who is controlling all these senses? The mind. The mind drives these senses. So, practically, our pursuit of happiness is either on a sensual or on a mental platform, most of the times. But Krishna says that the I, which I am identifying as this body, is not truly me. Because that I denotes a higher me, that is Atma. In fact, it is, you have seen some sort of, I think there are some twister and thriller movies where the protagonist is trying to chase after a person that has actually committed some crimes, right? And then towards the end, sudden twist happens that person who was chasing was me. In fact, I imagined all those crimes and then it was me who committed those crimes, or whatever be the case. Right? We have seen some things like that, where it was actually me, but I was imagining to be someone else and chasing. So similarly, the soul that is me is thinking as someone else. In this case, we are identifying ourselves with someone else. But Krishna says that is not who you are. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is said, Dehinosmin yata dehe komaram yovanam jara tata dehantara praptir dhiras tatra na muhyati. Krishna says that as one passes through childhood, through boyhood, through youth, through old age, and then you die, and then you take on another body. In this way, the soul is just a witness of this body. But the soul has nothing to do with this body. Just imagine, one of the greatest anxieties of this world is the fear of death. Because what will happen after I die? Or what is that fear of unknown? But Krishna says you never die. Neither are you born at any time, nor are you going to die at any time. So where is the anxiety? The anxiety comes in, or the fear comes in, when you actually identify yourself with that is something temporary, that is not you. I give a simple example. Did any one of us have bad dreams or nightmares? If anybody did not have or experience or don't remember having a nightmare, please raise their hand. A bad dream, a nightmare, a fear, even a daydream is fine too, but as long as it's like scary. Did anybody have those dreams? Right? Were you scared? Were you in anxiety? Is it? Imagine, I used to have those dreams because we grew up in a society where there was, the focus was completely academic and exams and grades and passing, and somehow that was the only life that was actually thrust upon us. So we used to have nightmares of the exams. Our exam center would be a different place than where we used to go for studying. And the reoccurring nightmare for me before the exam was that I had gone to the wrong center. Actually, I was late. First of all, I was late. I woke up late, and then I caught the wrong bus. I went, and on the ticket, when I see I'm in the wrong center, I already lost 2 hours at the exam. And I wake up in the morning with almost semi-dead state. I don't know, our hearts must have been reasonably strong to survive those experiences. But you get up in the morning, and then you take if it was, mostly the exams were in summers for us, and it was hot, so you would be taking the handkerchief or a piece of cloth to wipe the sweat that was kind of trickling from your forehead after that severe nightmarish experience. You wake up, so what was it? You did feel the fear, but till you were sleeping, you identified yourself with that dream and you experienced that anxiety, but when you became awake, then you no longer have nothing to do with that. And fortunately, growing up, we did not have to share beds. But imagine, I'm sure, the part of the dream involved kicking and somebody sleeping next to you. That person wouldn't be really happy. Similarly, our sojourn or our travels in this material world is something like that of a dream. We take on so many dreams. But Krishna says that when you are spiritually awake, then you see this material world as transient, akin to a dream. But please beware that you cannot artificially give up. Oh, thank you for that information. This is all a dream. Tomorrow I'm going to say goodbye to my work and family and then go off wherever I want to. Hey, you said it's a dream because I have nothing to do with dreams. But please understand, this is a little sustained dream. It's not easy to get out. It's not straightforward, because Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Daivihi esha gunamayi mama maya duratyaya mam evaye prapadyante maya metam tarantite. Because this dream that we are put into, Krishna says, is little difficult to get out. Daivihi esha, for those, you want to look up the verse, it's 7:14. Bhagavad Gita, 7th chapter, 14th verse. So in that, Krishna says that this material world is very difficult to overcome, extremely difficult to overcome. And when he says, the translation is there, the divine energy of mind consisting of the 3 modes of material nature is difficult to overcome, but those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond it. So the dream is a very sustained dream, and it goes on for a long time. That's why we don't want to get out of the dream. Imagine that you continuously keep sleeping, and then all your life is just either enjoying or suffering those dreams. You really don't want to wake up, because you don't know when I wake up what is outside beyond that. You're so used to sleeping. It's a kind of a crude example, but similarly, this material world is like that. We have been traveling through this material world since time immemorial. Trillions and quadrillions of bodies we have taken, the associated relatives and friends and work, and then giving it up and then moving on to another body, and then another body, and then another body. In this way, our life is just continuing in this world. And the problem, coming back to I want to be happy, and when you try to seek happiness on the bodily platform, identifying yourself with that dream, Krishna says is that it's not a happy place. As in, imagine, okay, I described a nightmarish dream. What about the dream you had was that you had 3 PhDs from Stanford and 4 Nobel Prizes. On top of it, you had so much of money that every other billionaire on the planet seemed a beggar in front of you. And would you actually enjoy the dream or not? You pretty much had Facebook to yourself. Forget it. Your Facebook account was the only account on Facebook. If you have a dream like that, you really do not want to get out of the dream. But when you eventually do get out, you realize that it is what? A dream or a reality? You feel some sadness saying that somebody wakes you up from that dream and says, why did you wake me up? I was actually enjoying that dream. Yes or yes. But Krishna says our life is like that in this material world. We get good, we get bad, but and then we keep on continuing in the cycle of birth and death. The whole purpose of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna mentioned, is how to get out of this dream-like existence. So when you try to seek happiness just on that platform of dreams, then our happiness is very temporary. And in fact, Krishna says that sort of happiness actually is going to give you misery. If you can bring 522, Sutra Malik Prabhu. (522), please. Kindly repeat, those who want to. Ye hi samsparshaja bhoga dukkha yonaya evate adyantavantah kaunteya nateshu ramate buddha. Kindly repeat the word to word. Ye, those. He, certainly. Samsparshajah, by the contact with material senses. Bhogaha, enjoyments. Dukkha, distress. Yonayaha, sources of. Eva, certainly. Te, they are. Adi, beginning. Anta, end. Vantaha, subject to. Kaunteya, O son of Kunti. Na, never. Teshu, in those. Ramate, takes delight, Buddha, the intelligent person. Kankamataji, please read the translation.
An intelligent person.
An intelligent person does not take part in the sources of misery, which are due to contact with the material senses. O son of Kunti, such pleasures have a beginning and an end, and so the wise man does not delight in them.
Thank you. If you can also read the purport, I think it's not a...
Material sense pleasures are due to the contact of the material senses, which are all temporary because of the body itself is temporary. A liberated soul is not interested in anything which is temporary. Knowing well the joys of transcendental pleasures, how can a liberated soul agree to enjoy false pleasures? In the Padma Purana it is said, Ramante yogino nante Sachinande chid atatmani iti rama padenusho param barama yate. The mystics derive unlimited transcendental pleasures from the Absolute Truth, and therefore the Supreme Absolute Truth, the Personality of Godhead, is also known as Rama. In the Srimad Bhagavatam also, 551, it is said...
Should I go read it and then...
You do the Sanskrit, yes.
Okay. Nayam deho deha bhajam riloke kashtan kaman arhate vidbujam ye tapo divyam putrakayena satvam shuddhyed yasmad brahma saukhyam tvanantam.
My dear sons, there is no reason to labor very hard for sense pleasure while in this human form of life. Such pleasures are available to the stool eaters, hogs. Rather, you should undergo penances in this life by which your existence will be purified, and as a result, you will be able to enjoy unlimited transcendental bliss. Therefore, those who are true yogis or learned transcendentalists are not attracted by sense pleasures, which are the causes of continuous material existence. The more one is addicted to material pleasures, the more he is entrapped by material miseries.
So I have a question. When you eat, is it sense pleasure? Because Krishna is saying you shouldn't eat. Or how do we understand? How do we practice? Yes, Prabhu. Prabhu, you have to. Yes, you have to.
So that is sense pleasure because, in fact,
You have to keep it to your mouth. The
in
online
fact,
audience.
I was just reading Brahma Samhita the other day, and it said in the transcendental world there is no need for food, shelter, defense, or sense pleasure. It's totally absent there.
Thank you.
That's why I say eating is sense pleasure.
Thank you. Your good name, Prabhu?
Bhakti Vinod Das.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Bhakti Vinod. Sure. Yes, we met. Because we have this body. Now, how do we deal with Krishna's statement and our present existence? Right? It's a very practical aspect that we need to consider. You just kind of, when you eat, you have some sense pleasure, that is true. But the fact is that you need to eat to live. Yes or yes? There are certain basic things a man needs to survive. And as long as that is done in a righteous way, then that is not sense gratification per se. Sense gratification implies that my life exists only for the pleasure of what my senses demand and nothing more. I have no idea I have no inclination to know further or to pursue further spiritual happiness. Because Bhagavatam also says that kamasya ne indriya priti labho jiveta yavata jivasya tattva jnasa narto cheha karma vihi. Bhagavatam says that our sense pleasure is limited to our bodily needs. And the rest or the remainder of the life is involved in finding out the higher purpose of life. Now you might say, why? Why do I need to find out the higher pleasure or higher pursuit of life? The spiritual truth and all that stuff, that's all bogus. It's all a myth. How many times did you hear that? It's just a myth. You guys just do well in life, work hard, make progress, and that's it. But the fact of the matter is that Krishna says the pursuit of material happiness is actually a source of pain. Because the more you indulge in that, the result is going to be more painful. And it is easily understood in the present context. Let's take the simple example of eating. How many obesity-related problems are there just for eating? Please understand, there are problems with obesity for the medical reasons, but how much people have no control over the senses and they eat and they have health issues later? The idea is that there is some tendency to indulge to find material pleasure. People might indulge in eating or whatever be it, but in the end, it's actually causing them pain. Yes or yes? It's a simple example that we can take. But from a spiritual perspective, the more you try to take satisfaction in the material existence, Krishna says the more you will be stuck here trying to find more happiness. Imagine the experiments happen, right, in the lab, where there is a guinea pig that's running on the Ferris wheel. Anybody? Right? So imagine that at one point of the Ferris wheel, there is something very palatable or nice, tasty stuff. And it has about fraction of a second to capture and eat. So it's running, it grabs it, and then it goes again and again, tries to grab. Is it coming out of the Ferris wheel? It thinks that the pleasure lies in just grabbing that food when the time comes. I have to work so hard, keep running. When it comes, I'll grab and eat. The material world is something like that. The Krishna says that please understand, at least from the basic principle of who you are. You are not this body, you are the spirit soul. So at least the pursuit of happiness, or I want to be happy, from a spiritual platform is a better proposition than trying to find just happiness in this material world, which is fraught with danger. People want to earn money to be happy, but earning money means there is a lot of risk involved. Yes or yes? There is anxiety involved, there is betrayals, there is trust, mistrust. Your mind is with your money and you can't sleep at night. Even after you get it, how can I save it? How can I expand it? The government is looking at my money. We should do something about it. Maybe I should invest in this property or that stock or in this way. The mind is completely absorbed. So where is the question of happiness? It is anxiety before and anxiety after. Both. This is the thing though. On this platform, on the bodily platform, our scriptures say that you have already been allotted something for your happiness. Just imagine a person starts a business. The goal of the business is, I'll go bankrupt in 2 years. A person goes out of the house every day morning thinking my goal is, I will meet with a fatal accident today. Or somebody is going to gym, working out, thinking that in 2 years, I will have to get blood cancer and die. Nobody does that. Nobody thinks like that. When you start a business, you want to be the next Facebook, Google / Oracle / Microsoft or whatever big companies you want. And you want to live forever with your thing, forget cancer. I don't even want to get sick. Oh, you are sick? Okay, don't come near me. Yes or yes? Or everybody wants to be healthy. The fact that opposite numbers show up even without our request means the positive numbers will also show up. Man, how did that guy become like that? He's such a useless doofus. He speaks all nonsense, yet he's elected president. How did that happen? It's destiny. The positive is supposed to come, then the positive will come, the negative is supposed to come, the negative will come. Krishna says that is taken care of. So the more you try to seek happiness when something is destined, the more you are in anxiety. So don't try to seek too much happiness. That doesn't mean you give up, because you cannot also give up. That is the conundrum. Okay, this world is a horrible place. I went to the Sunday feast lecture. That guy completely brainwashed. I don't even feel like getting out of the bed, let alone going to work. Maybe I should text my boss from my bed only saying I quit my job. But please understand, that is not the purpose. The purpose is to actually find out that we are in a warlike situation and do whatever it needs to survive. Let me put it that way. So, if the soldier goes to the war and he comes back, his commander asks him, how was the war? It was horrible. What do you mean? I thought you'll go have some fun there. There are some water slides, rides. But I see these people shooting at me. And then when I'm going on the road, nobody knows how long will my vehicle there. There will be IED, my vehicle might blow up. Well, sir, war is that. If you expected a resort, then you have a problem. That was a problem with your perception. Krishna, it is not my words. Krishna says this is Dukhalayam and Sashvatam. This place is full of dangers and it's temporary. So you need to do what you need to do to survive, but with a higher purpose in life. That is the thing. So it's not meant to scare, but to awaken to the fact that we have a higher purpose. And you know what is the beauty? Only in the human form of life can you actually even cogitate and think and ponder over these issues. And we get that human form of life, so let's awaken to see what is our higher purpose. What is it that we have to do? We do the needful. We go to job, we take care of the families, we have to pay our bills. Because you can't go to PG and say, I'm a self-realized soul, don't send me bills. Or go to the doctor and say, what? I'm a devotee, you're charging me, you're a fool. Or you can't go to your boss and say, look, I'm self-realized, so I will work only 2 hours a day. Is that okay? But you have to pay for 8 hours though. No, we do our needful. Whatever needs to be done, we need to do it, but with a detachment. I have another thing. Okay, everybody wears clothes. Do you are like, oh, this is my cloth, I'll never take it off. No, Baba, you take it, put it in the lawn. No, this is mine. It is one way of looking at. The other way of looking at is that I don't care. So, we have the body, and there are no spare parts, unfortunately. You can't trade in. You can't, exchange. You can't. The lease is there, but the lease is also unknown. We don't know how long the lease is there with the body. So we have this, we take care of it, we do the needful, but our pursuit never is taken off from the fact that we have to go back home, back to Godhead. And that really solves a lot of problems of life. The fact that, one of the biggest problems is self-esteem. And self-esteem usually comes from body, or bodily perception of others. It's not even the body, but the perception of our body by others. I may be happy with my body, but when others complain that you are like this or like that, you look ugly, whatever, then we take it seriously because we identify ourselves with that body, but not with the spirit soul. Maharaj Rahugana, it is there in the 5th canto, he was a self-realized person. And when he was saying that he was being criticized about the way his body looks were, he was not disturbed because he did not identify himself with that body. Does what am I saying make even the slightest sense? Okay. So coming back to the topic, I want to be happy. So do you want to be happy just by pursuing the material happiness as it is mentioned, or if there is a higher purpose? So Krishna says that there is a higher purpose. And if there is a higher purpose, then there is a higher happiness. Because the verse that we read, Yehi samsparshaja bhoga, happiness on a material platform, it begins and it ends. Yes or yes? Oh, wow, what a movie. It ended in 2.5 hours. Oh, what a tasty dish. I don't know how much time you take to eat, but whatever was the time you ate, it was beginning and there was an end. That is true with any material things. Any material things you take. A relationship. Let's not even get into it for now. Initially there is, and after that there is gone. So material nature is like that. The idea is that when we at least understand, then we temper with the reality. We know that, and then the question begins, if there is not much happiness here, wherein lies the happiness? Where is the platform of pursuit of happiness? So our scriptures say that there are 3 types of happiness. Happiness coming from sensual pleasure, or the pleasure that we try to just get from sense gratification. And there is a pleasure that one gives up all these things and is situated in a stage beyond of all these material platforms. And there is also the third variety of pleasure, and that pleasure lies in serving the divine and the ecstasy that one derives when one serves the Supreme Lord Krishna. Of this, they said the highest pleasure lies in serving Krishna, because by nature we are meant to serve. We are servants. No stones? Okay. I didn't get protective gear today, so. When you say you're servant, what demeaning words you're saying. I'm a servant? What nonsense. I'm the boss. But sir, if you carefully examine yourself, everybody in this material world serves. Yes or yes? A married man serves his family. He thinks he's the boss, but we have enough jokes on that. One being that man says, I'm the boss of this house, and I have my wife's permission to say so. So a man serves, a married man serves. A person who is bachelor, hey, I don't have any obligation. But you serve your boss to work? To maintain yourselves, you serve? You serve your boss? Okay. Hey, I don't have a boss, I'm self-employed. Okay, whatever. You serve your customer if you're self-employed? Okay. I'm not working for anybody, I'm not self-employed. Do you serve your mind? Your mind says, let's go to vacation to Hawaii. You book a ticket to Hawaii. That mind says, let's go to this pizza place. Let's go. You go to that movie. Yes or yes? So you serve that mind. A politician, he tries to serve his people. Yes or yes? So if you carefully analyze, everybody has to serve to live in this world. Nobody can take off to Himalayas on their own and say, I'll live here happily forever. You serve, you get something, because service is what sustains one's existence. Is that a fact? You have to do something for others, or you have to do something or dependent on others to get your existence. So our nature is to serve. And the question people ask, why do you serve? Why should I serve? Why do you serve? Or even there is a man, there is a person who's serving philanthropically. They run organizations, and So why do people serve, or why do people like to do that? Happiness and satisfaction. Any other responses? I mean, why do you get married and have family, for example? Sorry, take a mic. It's right here. Give them the mic, please. You are online. Your duties. So you get happiness doing some duty or some service. Thank you. What else? Don't worry. If you answer it, it's not. You will become a servant automatically somewhere, and then no, your false ego is so strong. Okay. So the reason, as Vijay mentioned, is that when you serve, you get happiness. A mother, when she serves her child, there is immense amount of satisfaction and happiness. A wife, when she serves the husband, or husband, when she keeps the wife happy, it's possible. So there is pleasure. But here is a point though. Service and pleasure seems to be opposite, right? If you serve someone, means you are a servant, means it's like a very hard state of existence. But actually, when you see that when you do service in a selfless way, there is satisfaction. When you serve others. But that tendency to serve others finds its highest satisfaction when you serve Krishna. Because our original nature is to serve God. We are created for that. But under illusion, we think we are masters. And therefore, we have all these issues to deal with. Make sense? Okay. Any questions, comments? Yes. So,
could you go again about the three kinds of happiness you explained?
So there are three types of happiness as enumerated by Rupa Goswami in the Nectar of Devotion. Happiness from sense pleasure, happiness derived from Brahman or identifying oneself with Brahman, and happiness from unalloyed devotion to Krishna. So he says that the happiness derived from unalloyed devotion to Krishna is a trillion times more intense and more sweet than serving Brahman. So any questions? Or we actually, since we have excellent musicians, maybe should we have a song? Yes, Sutra Malik Prabhu. You have to hold a mic. Valivardhan Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
So, my Guru Maharaj reminds me of this. You may be an ambassador to England or France. You may like to gamble. You may like to dance. You may be a heavyweight champion of the world. You may be a socialite with a long string of pearls. But you're going to have to serve somebody. Yes, indeed. That's the Bob Dylan lyrics that my Guru Maharaj, His Grace Vaisheshika Dasa, reminds me of sometimes.
Thank you.
So, kind of fits in the
Thank
topic.
you. Thank you. So should we have a bhajan or should I continue speaking? Speak? All right, let's do some speaking. So Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, he first of all tries to answer Arjuna's question. Why did Bhagavad Gita took place, or why was it spoken in the first place by Krishna? Because Arjuna had difficulties. And his difficulty was like our Hamlet, Shakespeare. To be or not to be, that's the question, right? Is that Hamlet? Am I quoting right? Because I forgot. Shakespeare. Is it Hamlet? Who said to be or not to be? That's the question. Wow. Okay. Right? Is that right? Thank you. Your good name, sir? Somebody give him a mic, please. No. Okay. All right, to be or not to be. So Arjuna's question was to fight or not to fight. And in the first chapter, Krishna and Arjuna have this conversation. Arjuna asks Krishna, "Oh Krishna, please take the chariot in between both of the armies." The armies of the Pandavas and the armies of Kauravas, they came together to fight. It was not like, a person sitting in a comfortable air-conditioned room and piloting a drone that can go. The kings and their armies were assembled to fight. And this was a fight not just like, some sort of Olympic competition where the winner and the loser will take the medals or not take the medals and go home. It was a fight on to death. One party which would win will rule the kingdom, the other party would be perished. And Arjuna said to Krishna, who was his charioteer, "Oh Krishna, please take the chariot in between the two armies. I want to see who are there people who are here to fight with me." And then when Krishna took Arjuna in between, Arjuna saw that the people who came were his own relatives. His grandfather Bhishma, whom he adored and loved so much, his fathers-in-laws, brothers-in-laws, his nephews, sons, grandsons. He was overwhelmed with compassion seeing all these different grades of relatives. And he said to Krishna, "Krishna, I will not fight." And he will give so many reasons. He is not only emotional, but intelligent as well. He gives from scriptures too, saying that I won't fight. And at the end, he takes his Gandiva bow and keeps it aside. Now, let's not get into the significance of what he does at that point of time. But that was the dilemma of Arjuna, to fight or not to fight. Do we have such dilemmas in life? To stay here, to go back. To invest in this stock or that stock. To join this company or that. To do this or that. For those who are not married, even bigger problem. To marry that person or that person. If I want to marry. Yes or yes? We do have dilemmas. So Krishna gives the instruction to Arjuna in the form of Bhagavad Gita. But then the question arises, why am I wasting my class? Or why my time sitting in Bhagavad Gita class? Arjuna had his problem solved. My problems don't get solved by reading Bhagavad Gita. Yes or yes? Why am I wasting time? Please understand that Krishna was speaking to Arjuna as a target, but Chaitanya Charitamrita says, even though he was speaking to Arjuna, the target was entire humanity. And the suffering of humanity, Krishna tried to alleviate through Bhagavad Gita. So Bhagavad Gita is as relevant to each and every one of us as it was for Arjuna when he was desperate to know what he should do. Because it gives a clear vision of what I need to do, what I need to focus on. Because in our pursuit of happiness, please understand, our mind is going to give you lots and lots of doubts and confusion. Maybe there is nothing. The spiritual life and all that is a total myth. It's bogus. I saw that nothing came out of it. And even for devotees who have been long term, there can be doubts. I personally will admit, sometimes when times are really tough, you feel like, what's going on? Is it even worth it? There are people who apparently never have any connection with God. In fact, the person is an atheist and he is growing to such high levels. I'm a devotee and there is some struggle going on. But Bhagavad Gita says that it really doesn't matter. Krishna says that even if you do a little bit, in the second chapter, please turn to 41st verse, Sutra Malik Prabhu. Kindly repeat after me. This is a great hope. Because we should understand what's my ROI sitting in this class. Yes or yes? You should know what's my ROI. Otherwise I'm just wasting. Time is money. Am I investing rightly here? So let's see, let's see the ROI. 40 please, go one more verse up. Thank you. Kindly repeat after me. नेहाविक्रमनाशोऽस्ति प्रत्यवायो न विद्यते स्वल्पमप्यस्य धर्मस्य त्रायते महतो भयात्. Balimardhan Prabhu, please read the translation. Thank you.
In this endeavor, there is no loss or diminution, and a little advancement on this path can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear.
Thank you, Prabhu. So that's your ROI. Because even if we pursue our spiritual life, and for some reason that we can't do it fully, we cannot complete it, we cannot achieve perfection in it, and there are factors against us that drag us down, there are past tendencies that kind of pull you away. But please understand, what even the slightest of the slightest of the slightest that you endeavor, Krishna says that it will not go in vain. Any material achievement that you get is going to go in vain at last. It really does not matter. You may have 4 PhDs and 5 Nobel Prizes and 6 honorary doctorates and simultaneous prime ministership of USA and Canada or whatever, dual citizenship and dual premiership or whatever. At the end of life, that is all taken away. And then you start your chapter afresh. So the question you should really ask is, what did I carry? What was something that was truly substantial that I could carry from one life to next? What is that asset that once procured can never ever be lost or depreciated or stolen or corrupted or whatever you want to use? And that's what Krishna says here. So your pursuit that you came here to the temple with inquisitiveness is being rewarded by Krishna by saying that this is something that you take with you forever, even if you do a little. So those who are completely non-believers and whose life is not centered around God, their future is a little risky because they might end up thrown into very different kinds of dangerous situations. But Krishna says, do a little. We'll do a little now. We'll do the mantra meditation together, at least for some time, so that these activities not only help seek happiness, but give assurance from this fearful situation that is material world. As I said earlier, nobody wants any negative situations, but they come about of their own accord. And spiritual life gives us that sustenance. Please understand that when you are advanced in spiritual life, it really doesn't mean that your boss is going to give you double promotion or you get an automatic 100% raise. How was your performance review? I was a devotee, I served so many years in the temple, so looking at least at a VP level with like 400% raise. That's not going to happen. Or whatever that is not the purpose. Because the more you seek those kinds of situations, the more entangled you will be in this material world. And Krishna actually is trying to get you out. It's like if a person is in prison, what do you want? Look, the toilet there, it's open. Everywhere I can see, I need some protection around the toilet. That's all you want? Yes, that's all I want. You will get that, but you will be still in prison. So the idea is to get out rather than betterment in prison life, because prison life is prison life. And the purpose of Bhagavad Gita is to get out and seek happiness on that platform. There is unlimited happiness when you go on the spiritual platform versus the limited, temporary, and binding happiness that you live in this material world. So I want to be happy should be starting from the spiritual rather than material platform. Any questions? Any comments? Yes, Sri Kumar Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for making us again think about all these things. Actually, I have two questions. One with respect to the previous verse, 522. So there it mentions that, we cannot engage in these material, but I see that even after many years of practice, it becomes sometimes, it's hard to get away from that. Like just with the technology, like WhatsApp, for example, and Facebook, you just tend to waste so much time. I mean, but still, like, although we read it, but still it just continues to exist within us. I mean, or at least with me. So how is it that you can really stress on this aspect, on this particular verse, and how can we really put it into practice? I mean, every moment, because I'm starting to feel like every moment is very precious, but still somehow again and again and again get into that thing of losing it.
It's a practical struggle. If I find an answer, personally, I'll let you know. But the fact of the matter is that the sure way is to actually get some taste in devotional service. And we pray to Krishna that, may I serve you for getting a taste for your service. Because Krishna says, Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehina rasavarjam rasopyasya param drishtva nivartate. That in the second chapter he says that the lower taste automatically subsides when you get higher taste. For example, a person who's been in a poverty situation, he is eating food which is not palatable, for example. But if he's used to eating a higher standard of food, the lower food actually becomes unpalatable. There is a conscious effort and there is a higher taste. A conscious effort is that I try to do the best I can. But as Krishna says, Daivi Esha Gunamai Mama Maya Durata is very strong. We have been for so long accustomed to dreamlike existence, we kind of think that that's all in all. So a conscious effort that, I am aware of it, and then seeking blessings from Krishna and Guru, saying that, please give me the taste. Please help me out of this. Because the Bhakti Yoga platform is not a platform of self-exhibition, unfortunately. It is said in the other forms of yoga, like jnana, mystic, and all those things, it is more of my self-control. I fall down, but I completely control my mind and senses, and then I show my prowess. But Bhakti Yoga is more of like, I need help yoga. And that I need help comes from Krishna and the association of devotees. WhatsApp and Facebook, I don't know. Do we need both? Something to think about. It's a personal choice. I mean, the other thing is, if you, Mataji, Kanka Mataji had a point. She raised her hand.
Oh, go ahead. Finish what you were just...
Yeah, so the other thing is, I am beginning to realize that every act of mine or every decision of mine, one question I am going to ask myself is Krishna involved somehow? If he is not involved, then I'll try to either limit, neglect, or not do it. Because my mind has a certain demands. And you just cannot, and because of the past habits, past bad conditioning, whatever be it, they still exist in me for so long. And I can personally say for myself, I do have those negative tendencies. But I have this great hope that by sticking onto this path of devotion and by pursuing, one day they will go. Otherwise there is no meaning. Right? If Krishna says that always think of me, manmana bhavamad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru, is he saying something unrealistic or impractical? Or is he saying something that you cannot do? He can do. He doesn't say, go create your own planets, because you cannot create your own planets. We kind of cover up that inability as like immutable physical law. Man can neither create matter nor destroy matter, but can convert. So man cannot create or destroy, but somebody must have created it, right? So we use that inability. Krishna doesn't say even create your own, forget planet, you can't even create your own glass. because you can't create matter. So he gives instructions in Bhagavad Gita which are practical, but it will take time. And as we are engaged in service and sadhana, it's a matter of time. Just a matter of time. You will get. Because in this material world, how much ever you serve, that service is not valued that much. If at work, you may be doing lot of immense work and amazing work. When the performance review comes, it is like one thing that you missed out. That is highlighted, not the life you gave for the company. Yes or yes? It's, I don't know, maybe it's corporate culture or some, don't get me started on that. We can go so tangentially off topic, we will go 4 miles away and then we won't even come back. But Krishna, he is so merciful, he is exactly the opposite. You may have 1,000,000 faults, he will see that one thing, that service that you did for him, out of spontaneous affection for him. You may have just out of spontaneous affection given something to Krishna. It could be a fruit, a flower. It could be like $2 you had just in the pocket, whatever, you just felt like it and you gave it. That $2 you gave to Krishna, he'll remember forever. And you might have your whole life spanned out doing other things, but Krishna will remember that. So if Krishna is so merciful that he will discount your millions of faults and take what is the service that you have rendered for him, why not? It's just a matter of time that he'll realize your difficulties and give you strength. Isn't it? Otherwise, what's the point? If Krishna is also doing the performance review like situation at the time of death, trust me, will never go back. Because he is unlimitedly intelligent, unlimitedly knowing. He knows everything you have done, every act, every thought. Your boss won't even know what you are thinking, but Krishna knows what you are thinking in your deepest thoughts. Even you forgot your dreams, Krishna knows what dreams you had dreams. So if that is that person's personality's capacity to know, he will never go back. Because he can find faults with even the smallest things you do, if he wants to. But the nature of the Lord is such that he takes the good and rejects the bad. And that's why he says, Abhichet Suduracharo. In the 9th chapter, please look up. This is a very nice, 9th, 30th, please. 9th chapter, 30th verse. Let's not abuse it, but anyway, let's remember it. Kindly repeat after me. Apichet Suduracharo. Bhajate mam ananya bhak. Sadureva samantavyah. Samyak vyavasito hisa. Translation. Even if one commits the most abominable action, if he is engaged in devotional service, he is considered to be saintly because he is properly situated in his determination. Then please don't feel happy. Okay, I can do whatever nonsense and I am still a devotee. It doesn't work that way. Let me clarify, because Krishna also clarifies. Let's read the purport. It's helpful. The word Suduracharaha used in this verse is very significant and we should understand it properly. When a living entity is conditioned, he has 2 kinds of activities. One is conditional and other is constitutional. As far as protecting the body or abiding by the rules of the society and state, certainly there are different activities even for the devotees in connection with the conditioned life, which means I have to pay my taxes. I'm a devotee, IRS don't bother me. And in connection with the conditional life, and such activities are conditional. Besides these, the living entity is fully conscious of his spiritual nature and is engaged in Krishna consciousness or devotional service of the Lord, has activities which are called transcendental. Such activities are performed in his constitutional position and they are technically called devotional service. Now in the conditioned state, sometimes devotional service and the conditional service in relationship to the body will parallel one another. But then again, sometimes these activities become opposed to one another. Is there some examples that we can think of? As a working life in Silicon Valley, one place where I can think of where they oppose each other is that you have at work, you have a team lunch. Did anybody experience that sort of unique phenomena? And you might have to go out. But Krishna says, or we have the restriction that you should eat only prasadam. So those two are sometimes opposite. So just to think about it, let's go ahead. As far as possible, a devotee is very cautious so that he does not do anything that could disrupt his wholesome condition. He knows that perfection in his activities depends on his progressive realization of Krishna consciousness. Sometimes, however, it may be seen that a person in Krishna consciousness commits some act which may be taken as most abominable socially or politically, but such temporary fall down does not disqualify him. In Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated that if a person falls down but is wholeheartedly engaged in transcendental service of the Lord being situated within his heart, purifies him and excuses him from that abomination. The material contamination is so strong that even a yogi fully engaged in the service of the Lord sometimes becomes ensnared. But Krishna consciousness is so strong that such an occasional fall down is at once rectified. The process of devotional service is always a success. No one should deride a devotee for some accidental fall down from ideal path, for as explained in the next verse, such occasional fall downs will be stopped in due course, as a devotee is completely situated in Krishna consciousness. Therefore, a person who is situated in Krishna consciousness and is engaged with determination in the process of chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, should be considered to be in the transcendental position, even if by chance or accident he is found to have fallen. The words sadhureva, he is saintly, are very emphatic. They are a warning to the non-devotees that because of an accidental fall down, a devotee should not be derided. He should be still considered saintly even if he has accidental fall down. And the word mantavya is still more emphatic. It does not follow this rule. If one does not follow this rule and derides a devotee for his accidental fall down, then one is disobeying the order of the Supreme Lord. The only qualification of a devotee is to be unflinchingly and exclusively engaged in devotional service. So, if you go down to the last, a little bit more. Oh, no, go. So, no one, if you see the fifth line from the bottom. Yes, no, one below that. No, one next immediate sentence after that. On that same line towards the end. There we go. No one should take advantage of this verse and commit nonsense and thinks that still he is a devotee. If he does not improve his character by devotional service, then it is to be understood that he is not a high devotee. The point is that Krishna gives certain leeway, because in bhakti only that leeway is allowed. But if you take advantage, then you are cheating the cheater. He will cheat you in turn. Then you are left with nothing. Because with Krishna, you cannot use that statements. You cannot say, oh, you said that. That doesn't mean you. Because the very acts of deliberately going against Krishna consciousness will gradually drop you away from Krishna. Does that make sense? Any questions? Any comments? Concerns? Kankamati.
One of the things, especially in this purport, it was talking about determination and chanting. So Vaisheshika Prabhu was talking about chanting our rounds every day with feeling.
Right.
And Prabhupada would often say that too, with feeling. And turn off our cell phones, turn off any of our gadgets, so we won't be distracted, because it's so easy to be distracted.
Yeah.
And that's Maya's job. She's very powerful, and she's a pure devotee, so she's perfectly doing her job. And in order for you to be also become powerful, you have to follow the process, which is chanting Hare Krishna. It's got to be every day, that chanting, because that's what cleans our heart.
Wonderful. That's an excellent segue to the next part where we will actually do whatever Mataji said. That is, we'll chant. And we'll chant with feeling. Let's take a moment to deeply meditate on the fact. Let's keep all our worries aside. Let's not worry what's going to happen to the stock market. It's going to happen what it's going to happen. Let's not worry what will happen to our country. It will happen. Don't worry. God is in control. Let's not worry about what's the work I need to do tomorrow. Tomorrow will come. Tomorrow we'll face it. So we just focus on the holy name of Krishna, and we chant with intense feeling, and frankly begging Krishna to help us, to show us the right path, to give us the courage and the strength to face whatever difficulties that might come, and to never ever think of any other recourse such as bars or friends or whatever. When the difficulties hit, we just deeply, deeply meditate on Krishna and ask him for his guidance. So everybody knows the counting thing. I don't want to go over. For those who are not familiar, so we start from our ring finger in the middle. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then we go back 1, 2, 3, 4. So we'll do 20 mantras. We'll do with intense feeling. Everybody's familiar, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we move. We say one mantra and then we move it to the next. And then we go on. Everybody got that? Questions? It's okay to ask questions. So before we do, we usually chant the pranam mantra of Panchatattva. And then if you can pull it up, please, Sutra Malika Prabhu, and then we can do that mantra. And then you can hold your finger before we chant. Don't move, but just chant and then we'll move. Okay, so let's all chant together and then we'll chant the Maha Mantra. But remember, we chant with intense feeling and prayerful mood, and it will really help if you can sit a little straight. If you can, that'll be nice, but it's not needed. Okay. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Harinam Sankirtan ki. So at this point, let's take few reflections or questions or comments or any concerns. Anything that stood out in the mind. Shama Rupa Prabhu, please, someone give him the mic.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank
Hare
you
Krishna.
so much
Thank you.
for the wonderful and deep discourses. One line in the purport that caught my attention, it was mentioned that the goal in this human life is to unflinchingly getting attached to the devotional service of the Lord. So my question is it something that is achievable in this lifetime, or like sometimes we say, going back to home, back to Godhead, is it something that happens after death, or this is something, this back to Godhead thing, which is nothing but developing taste for unflinching devotional service, that state of consciousness can be achieved in the very lifetime?
Well, Srila Prabhupada writes that it can be achieved in the very lifetime, but given the strong currents that oppose us, and as Sri Kumar Prabhu mentioned, so many distractions that we face, it needs a tremendous amount of determination and, more importantly, a taste to kind of get that. So we beg Krishna to give us the taste. We beg Krishna to give us that strength to be unflinching, irrespective of whatever comes upon us. And two things can help. One is our own attitude, and then the grace of God. How is my own attitude? Because it is said in Srimad Bhagavatam, in prayers in the 10th canto by Lord Brahma, 14th chapter. What's the famous verse? Pardon? Anybody remember? Yes, go for it. Belt it out. Please.
Tattena kampam shashamekshamanam bhanjano eva
Evatmakritam vipakam Hridvagvapurbhir vidadan namaste Jivetayo muktipade sadaya bhak. I think it's 10:14:1, 10, 10:14:10 or 11. So in that particular words, it is the devotee's attitude that's shown up. Whatever comes because of my past miseries, oh my Lord, let me be always engaged in hearing and chanting about your glories. Others, they might come, they might not come. So my attitude is also what Krishna is looking at. And without Krishna's grace, we can not get the entrance to. If, it's not back to home, it's like a phrase that we use, back home, back to Godhead, but it's not like gate crashing into somebody's house, because it's God's house. You really can't gate crash unless He calls you. So it is up to Him, when He wants to call. But my attitude is that I don't want to do anything else, or my focus or my source of shelter and happiness and security will not lie anywhere else except your lotus feet. That is my attitude. And may Krishna please at least give me that attitude. May I unflinchingly be situated. Rest, whatever, it's your call. Whenever you want to call me, I'm ready to come. If you want to stay here, I'll stay here. But wherever I go, that's all I ask. Because Maharaj Parikshit was one of the most powerful kings. There was no question of running for re-election in 4 years those days. There was no problem of your approval ratings and Twitters and fundraising and pesky neighbors and foreign currencies trying to pull you down. You were the king of the earth. You didn't have to worry about filling in and problems with Supreme Court justices overruling your mandate. No, whatever law you made, you were the lawmaker, you were the judge, jury and executioner in one stroke. No questions asked. Imagine that situation. And Maharaj Parikshit actually was cursed by a Brahmana boy Shringi to die in 7 days. We know the story of how he went to the forest for hunting. He felt the unbearable pangs of thirst, and he went to Shamika Rishi's ashram, where the Rishi was in deep meditation. Forget even receiving king with sweet words and water. He did not even look up or get out of his trance. Maharaj Parikshit was already thirsty and hungry, and he became upset at the reception that this sage gave him. And he thought, I'm a Kshatriya, this Rishi is a Brahmana, he is thinking he doesn't want to deal with me, so I'm just feigning meditation so that he can avoid me. I got this cold reception, let me also give it back. So he just picked up a snake with his bow and then wrapped it around the sage's neck. And when his young son, who was playing with his friends, who was immature, heard of this insult that has been heaped upon his father by this king, he cursed, saying that in 7 days may the snake bird kill you. When the news heard, but so here is the interesting thing though. Maharaj Parikshit is described as Bhagavatottama, means the topmost of the devotees. He was not like an ordinary person. And what did Maharaj Parikshit feel after putting the dead snake around the Rishi's neck? He didn't say, yeah, God back at you, I'll put it on the Twitter. Actually, he went back. He said, what overcame me? Why did I do such an offense against this venerable sage? This is most inauspicious thing I have done. And he prayed to Krishna that if there is some reversal or some misfortune that is going to come out of this action, let it come upon it right now. Because may that misfortune teach me never to misbehave with this Brahmana class again. In fact, it is said in Bhagavatam that he could counteract. If the Brahmana boy Shringi cursed him, may you die with a snake bird, he would have said, forget, I'll create another bird that will kill your snake bird in 2 minutes. And then they go on, ha ha ha, like kids, right? They do that. More, whatever they do. He could have indulged in that. And actually Bhagavatam says he had the power to counterattack. You cursed me to die by this snake bird, I curse you that I won't die. And it would have taken effect. But he said, no, this is very good. Just see the attitude of Maharaj Parikshit. And it's not like, oh my God, he cursed me, I have to counter. I have such a big kingdom. I have judge, jury, executioner rolled into one. No approval ratings, no finance raising, no campaign funds, nothing. He said, good. Then what did he ask of God? He said, okay, whatever has come upon me, I'm ready to accept. But what did he ask God? He said, God, I did so much for you. Now I am supposed to die. He just said that, oh God, wherever you place me, I ask you only for 3 things. What did he ask for? 3 things? Become a king, have beautiful wife and more children? Or, no. He said, he asked only for 3 things. You want to know what those 3 things are? He says, Punascha bhoyat bhagavati anante. Oh Lord, if you, he didn't even ask, go back to home, back to Godhead. He just said, oh Lord, if you want to place me into this material world. He said, Rati prasanga cha tadashrayeshu. He said 3 things. One thing is, wherever I go, your prasanga means your topics, your transcendental narrations, your glorious activities, may always be attached. Rati prasangat. He says that Rati means that intense attraction to your glorious names, forms, and pastimes. And then he says, Tadashrayeshu. He says, may I always have the association of those who are surrendered unto you, or your devotees. Your surrendered devotees, may I always get their association. And then he says, Maitrastu sarvatra namo dvijebhya. He says that, may I have friendly relationships with all the living entities. Or with the Brahmanas. Specifically he said with the Brahmanas. Maitrastu sarvatra namo dvijebhya. But he said all the living entities. These are the 3 things he asked. It's like if you are like a homeless, you don't know what to ask, you are an ignorant person, you don't know what to ask, I understand. But here is the personality who has experienced unlimited sovereign power on the earth, beautiful wife and family and everything that is, yet he asked for these 3 things. So these are most valuable. He didn't even ask for liberation. He didn't say, God, you are cursing me to die, at least take me back. Kuch to bargain. I mean, let's kind of get to some agreement, negotiation deal. He didn't say that. He says, this is all I ask. So, our attitude is this. Krishna, wherever you want, you place me. I am completely surrendered on you. You go. But please help me with this. And Krishna will help you. In fact, wherever you are liberated. It really doesn't matter. Vasudeva, what is Narayana Parayana Nakutaschana Bibhyati Sargapa Varga Narakeshu Pulyartha Api Samadarchana. It is said in the 6th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, where Maharaj Chitraketu was cursed by Parvati, and then he was cursed to become an asura, and then he didn't flinch. Vritrasura, he became Vritrasura in the next birth, Chitraketu. The Chitraketu didn't flinch. He didn't say, what did you do? I'm in such a high position. Yeah, he says, okay, this is what God wanted, I'll take it. And then Parvati was, wow, I cursed this person to be a demon, and he's still not afraid. And then Shiva said, the nature of those who are surrendered to Krishna is such that they are not afraid if you are under any circumstances. And that's what we ask. That's what we are hoping for. Does that little bit answer? Sorry for the very long-winded answer.
Very much. Wonderful.
Thank you. Another questions or reflections? We have about 10 more minutes. Sudeep, Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you very much for the wonderful class.
Thank you.
Just one comment, while I liked everything, each and every word you said, but in particular how you mentioned that how in the material world, everybody will look at your faults. You also gave a wonderful example of the performance review, which is so very apt. But here you said, God is God because out of our, whatever, I can't even feel the number, but countless faults, He will see that one service. And that was very sweet and very insightful. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And we'll repeat that verse also. So once we are done with the reflections, to strengthen our faith. Yes, Prabhuji.
So actually, so there's an experiment also, psychology experiment done. It's a very famous one. So I think 5th graders or 6th graders, they were given an experiment where, some marshmallows were kept on the table, and then they were asked that don't touch it, we'll come back, and then we'll see basically, and whoever doesn't touch it will get some prizes. So there were a group of students who couldn't wait, and then they simply took the marshmallows and ate it. And then there were a group of students who waited till what happens. And then the psychologists tracked all those students for around, I think, 10-15 years. And they figured the students who did not touch that, those who waited to what happened, they actually kind of became very successful in life.
Wow.
And the people who kind of grabbed those immediately did not have the self-control. They didn't fare much in the life.
Wow.
So the idea is not to kind of have a delayed gratification, but even in devotional life, when you are expecting the highest, you need to have also the patience, basically.
Nice.
So you should not expect instant gratification.
Excellent. Thank you. Pramila wants to. Somebody, please give her a mic.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you so much for the lecture.
Thank you.
So I like the point, if there is a higher purpose in our life, we have the higher happiness. So I strongly feel that it should come within, that one has to experience it. So whatever we do, we relate everything to Krishna. So wherever we go, whatever we do, whatever we eat, we relate to Krishna only. So small example, actually there was a competition, Boy Scouts activity. So everybody is giving there is a car race. So everybody is giving thunderbolt, lightning, fire, something like that. So I just told my son, why don't we give as name Garuda, because it is the Vahana of Vishnu. So he said, it's a very great idea. Then he gave the number 108. Why did you give 108? I said. Then he said, Mom, we chant beats of 108 beats will be there. So really that one has to experience it, and by practice only we can enjoy the that nectar, yeah.
Very nice. Thank you.
Yeah, and he won the race.
Wonderful. Oh, nice. Very
and
good.
wherever, he is in the band, and he is learning all the Western music. So I told him why don't you wrote the music notes for Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Then he wrote the notes with very patience, he collected all the notes, and he practiced that. Now he is enjoying that Hare Krishna Mahamantra by singing Hare Krishna Mahamantra.
Very nice.
So wherever it should come within, that one has to experience it. So we are enjoying it the fullest by serving Krishna in each and every moment,
Very nice.
in each and everything.
Thank you. Matsu.
Thank you so much.
Any other points? So, so you have a choice. We have about 4 minutes or so. So we can recite that verse which Sudeep was saying. It's a little tongue twister, but it's really sweet. You want to recite that verse and read the translation? Okay, please pull up 3:2 Bhagavatam 3:2:23, please. Three to 23. Next one. This is Uddhava reflecting on the pastimes of Krishna. So kindly repeat after me. Aho bakiyam stanakalakutam jigam shayadapapayayadapya sadhvi लेभे गतिं दातृचितं ततोऽन्यं कं वा दयालुं शरणं व्रजेम. Sir, would you, in the back, would you like to read the translation? So, Shyamaru Prabhu, the person behind you. Translation? You want to read? No? Okay. Why don't you read, Sudhir Prabhu? Since you...
Alas, how shall I take shelter of one more merciful than he who granted the position of mother to a she-demon, Putana, although she was unfaithful and she prepared deadly poison to be sucked from her breast.
Please read the purport. I think it's a short purport.
Here is an example of the extreme mercy of the Lord, even to his enemy. It is said that a noble man accepts the good qualities of a person of doubtful character, just as one accepts nectar from a stalk of poison. In his babyhood, he was administered deadly poison by Putana, a she-demon who tried to kill the wonderful baby. And because she was a demon, it was impossible for her to know that the Supreme Lord, even though playing the part of a baby, was no less than the same Supreme Personality of Godhead. His value as the Supreme Lord did not diminish upon his becoming a baby to please his devotee Yashoda. The Lord may assume the form of a baby or a shape other than that of a human being, but it doesn't make the slightest difference. He is always the same Supreme. A living creature, however powerful he may become by dint of severe penance, can never become equal to the Supreme Lord. Lord Krishna accepted the motherhood of Putana because she pretended to be an affectionate mother, allowing Krishna to suck her breast. The Lord accepts the least qualification of the living entity and awards him the highest reward. That is the standard of his character. Therefore, who but the Lord can be the ultimate shelter?
So
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you. I'll leave the class with that thoughtful note. Thank you very much for coming today evening. Oh, they want a couple of more minutes? 2-3 minutes? Okay. So any other for more reflection then? Any other final questions or comments? Yes, Valivardhan Prabhu.
So just as you started about the performance review or how devotees can progress towards ultimate realization even though difficulties and all. So Prabhupada mentions many times that Krishna gives all 5 primary rasas and 7 indirect rasas experiences to the devotees in this lifetime. That means mostly you see the adventure, frustration, ghastly nature, and many other things where he gave an opportunity to see whether you are able to relate to Krishna consciousness in terms of, or you are really losing your faith. So either you go, there are many devotees when he go, it was the same example which Prabhupada's lecture and the devotees giving a comment in Vrindavan, and they are going in a trip to Badrinath, which is a bus trip, in a small truck kind of things, which is not a bus but not a jeep, in between. And on the way, because the route is very complex and very difficult, so they are going on the way chanting and all. So suddenly that mini truck, it got out of the track of this one and it fell down. So it fell down means it started rolling in the whole mountain. So when it is rolling, 1, 2, everybody is crying. Oh, definitely this situation you are going under the whole mountain, darkest side.
I'm sure so there are no seat belts at that time also.
There is no seat. There is no seat belt. It's like that. In India, it's going on. So 2, 3, but one devotee out of them, he said, let's remember Krishna, which somehow, maybe one brave soul, how he can save 50 other souls. And so it is very important. She said, let's chant Hare Krishna. So they chanted in one roll at least. So it stuck in a tree.
Wow.
So it got stuck in a tree. Somehow Krishna, it is not that you are chanting as talk, but it is a coincidence. He might have stopped you or who knows.
Right.
But at least that gives them the joy that it stopped finally. A little bit they have injured, nobody got dead or anything, but they got recovered from the whole dilemma. So it's likely, as Prabhupada mentioned, so He gives all varieties of experiences in our life. So you get joy, you get frustration, you get, the adventure and everything. So you need to see how you are correlating with Krishna in all situations.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you for that point. Any other points? Yes, Sutramali Prabhu, please come. Don't sit on the floor.
Actually, Prabhu, I'd like to share with you today. I was driving from home, and I was chanting Srimad Bhagavatam, and suddenly, about 40 feet in front of me, this car, I find that it's all stopped, and I'm coming at about 70 miles an hour, and today Krishna saved me. So I swerved, I kind of hit the brakes and swerved to the left, next lane. Luckily, no one is in the lane. And then my right tire, it popped. So I'm just driving, and then suddenly there's a flat tire note on the dash. And then I go pull over, and I'm thinking, oh, now I have to pay for the tire. So I'm so ungrateful. And just Krishna actually saved my life. And I'm thinking I have to pay for the tire. So, and then I'm thinking, inside you have so much dirt that you're thinking about the tire, but actually Krishna saved your life. You were about to just get into a head-on collision, literally. It was like I'm at 70 miles an hour.
Wow.
So that is something that I learned today, that I'm not so clean really, and then I really have to focus on my on my practice. So it just tells me that we look at the negative things in life more than the actual positive things that happen.
Excellent.
Good things that happen.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Why was the car stopped in the front though? Is it breakdown?
It's just a traffic.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Thank you for sharing with us. So we'll stop here, Bhagavatam Prabhu. All right, thank you so much. Please put away the asanas and everything in the back, and we can have the Aarti.